Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Massive Darkness 2 unboxing. This is for the Kickstarter upgrade pack. So what this is it allows you to bring all of your, so it's going to have rulebook, dashboards, campaign cards, 246 roaming modules, 72 mob cards, and 21 hero cards. It'll let you bring all the content from Massive Darkness 1 into Massive Darkness 2 with all the upgraded cards. So if you own, this is going to be the base game, plus all of the expansions, plus all the Kickstarter stretch goals. So it's going to have something for everything. But it allows you to do is take all your miniatures of your heroes, and take all your monster minions, and bring them all into the game so you can play them as other things. It does change how some of them work a little bit, because there were different classes in Massive Darkness 1 versus Massive Darkness 2. How the classes work changed, as well as the monsters, because they're in Massive Darkness 2. There's the mobs, which are made of the leaders and the minions, and then now the original one was bosses. So all the bosses became leaders, and then the agents, which are kind of like free roaming cards, now are just got pushed in to be with the other roaming monsters. Also, a couple of the monsters now become bosses, because the original Massive Darkness didn't have bosses. So we're going to add those as well. It does a few other things. It also adds because the original mode had kind of like a campaign story. So it's going to keep a campaign story going on, but you're going to, so you can do these different modes of different. So it's going to do is take all of the new different content from the current game, from the Massive Darkness 2. It's going to bring stuff into Massive Darkness 1. So if you have all your boards, you can go ahead and remake all these tiles. There was an optional thing you can also buy, which I'm not going to show off in any of my videos because I didn't need to buy it because I own Massive Darkness 1. But there was a tile pack that had reprinted all the tiles. So if you bought the Kickstarter stuff and you bought this for whatever reason, you could at least replay all these quests, because you have all the old maps. And let's say you don't own Massive Darkness 1 and you'd still like to play all these different characters, you can just substitute a different mini for the mob if you really wanted to, and you could still at least play with all these monsters, because you don't need the miniature doesn't do anything other than, give it a presence on the board. But yes, it's got a bunch of your stuff that explains how different things work. All that. We'll get into it. It has all the different quests from the original game. Updated though, like choose your path. There's a prologue. It uses all the new stuff. Plus it has the expansion that was also part of it. Oh, I just knocked my card down. Which is the Crystal and Lava set. They add the campaign cards that work with the Heavenfall campaign story. So we have all that cool stuff. So we're going to look at that. All of the mobs and roaming monsters in this game have the level 2 through 10 cards. So they have the 5 cards. So you can play base game, or you can add in the Heavenfall expansion if you play that. So we're going to start by going through all the mobs first, and then we'll go through the roaming monsters, and then eventually the bosses. Then we'll get to the heroes, and some extra item cards and stuff like that in the next set. I am going to have the minis from Massive Darkness 1, but just to note, they do not come with this set. This set is just cards. It does not come with any new miniatures. It does not come with any tile sets or tokens. But I will put up the miniatures that go with them, just to kind of show them off. So these are the Dwarf Warriors. And I'm not going to want to spend a ton of time on every card, so we're going to kind of read through these fairly fast. I'm not going to hold the miniatures up and show them off like I usually do. If you want to see them in better, closer depth, go watch the Kickstarter, or it's not the Kickstarter, go watch the Massive Darkness 1 videos. Here I just wanted to put them up so you can kind of see what they look like. Alright, so the Dwarf Warriors have 3 health, 1 defense, and they have attack, claw, double the amount of swords once per roll. And then as they upgrade, they just generally get better stats. They get their green dice, when they hit later. And then they eventually have up to 11 health. Alright, so these are the Dwarf Warriors. And now the original Massive Darkness, instead of having a bunch of different monsters, what it did was it had several groups of 2 parts. They usually had like generally it was kind of like a melee-ish group, like a close-up attack group, and then like a range or support group. So we had the Warriors, and then we have the Dwarf Defenders, which have 2 health, and they're going to have 2 defense, and they have melee defense. They get 2 claws, they do an extra claw damage. And then just going to keep upgrading everything, getting a little bit better. And then finally 10 health with 3 and 4 for their die. And then they do 2 claw damage instead. And I'm not gonna spend a ton of time on each one of these because there's so many to go through. I don't want this to be a 3-hour-long video. Alright, we got Goblin Warriors. We have Dwarves, we have some Goblins. Goblins have 3 health, 1 blue die, attack to get 1 extra yellow die. And then they upgrade and they get an orange die instead. And then they get orange, so basically they get a little bit better every time. And then finally they'll upgrade and they'll get some red die. And then their last one, now they have 11 health, 3 and 3 dice, and plus they get 1 orange and 1 red. So Goblin Warriors. Then we have the supporty class, the Goblin Archers. So now, unlike the original ones, they don't have like attacks built in. They're like the new one. They keep their small ones. So here we have, because then they use the mob weapons and items to increase their abilities. So we have 3 hearts, health, 1 defense. Goblin Archer weapon counts as a ranged in addition to its type. So they get to automatically use ranged attacks, and they get +2 swords. They have the +3 swords, +4 swords. And so they have 10 health, they have 6 defense dice, and they have +4 swords on their end ability at level 10. Alright. Let's go for the Goblin's bigger brothers, the Orcs. Orcs start off with 3 health, 1 defense, and attack with 2 hands. Fully heal 1 Orc Enforcer miniature. Oh, that's crazy. So then you can get a little bit better stats each time. Better defense dice, better health. And then they end up with 11 health, 6 defense dice, and they can still fully heal 1 Orc Enforcer. So far, these are all the ones from the base game. These 4 different classes. So these are our Orc Flayers. We're going to have 4 health, and then they have the attacks. These actually might be the Warrior class. The other ones are probably the support. 5 health, and they can do 2 swords. 3 swords, and then finally they get 15 health, and they have up to 4 swords. Alright, so Goblins, Orcs, Dwarves, and what was the last one? Maybe there's only the 3 of them. Yeah, so those 3 are the 3 main groups that were from the base game. Then we get into some of the expansions where we had Rattlings. So you're to fight giant rat and animal-porpic rats. So that way, in case, this is also kind of nice if you had bought Massive Darkness 2 and you didn't eat it. You're wondering, oh, do I want to get Massive Darkness 1? If you can get this pack, definitely great to pick it up. So you can get all these extra characters. And if you're wondering, like, how come we didn't see any of these other classes in there? That's why. They didn't want to reprint them when they were already in the first game. So Rattling Warriors. 3 health, 1 defense. Attack with a claw. If this is the last action from this mob, after combat, move this mob 1 zone away from the target if possible. So if he does 2 attacks, or a moving attack, he gets to then move away. So basically they hit you when they run. And then in their higher version is we have a 10 with 6 dice and the same ability. And we get the Ratmen Crossbowmen, or the Rattling Crossbowmen. Although the one guy has a staff and not a crossbow. It's like a broom almost. 2 health, 1 defense. Rattling Crossbowmen weapon count as ranged in addition to its other type, which is interesting because I don't think any of the characters in the main game had this. It's kind of, maybe that's why, because they knew there was crossbowmen in this set. Ranged attack, +1 sword. If this mob has more than half its starting miniatures, +1 slash instead, so it does direct damage instead of possible damage. So as long as there's a lot of rattlings, they get to do some direct damage to you. And they're now ups them to 2. And then the final one, they have 10 health and 5 dice, and they get to do 2 swords or 2 slashes. Alright, then our next expansion set was the Reptilians, the Reptosaurians. So we're going to get some Reptosaurian warriors. So 3 health, 1 defense. If a hero starts their turn in this mob zone, that hero takes 1 wound. And then attacked with 2 of those, it gets 1 extra claw. And then stats are just going to go up. And now it does 2 claws. And then if you get to the final one, it has 11 health, and now it'll do 2 wounds, plus it also can do 2 slashes. Definitely formidable. Then the other half of those guys are the Reptosaurian Blowgunners. So 2 health, 1 defense. Reptosaurian Blowgunners weapon counts as ranged. Defense, 2 hands. If the attacking hero is not in the same zone, it does 1 +1 slash. So if they're hitting you from a distance, which is what they want to do, they get to hit you for direct damage. These are kind of a little bit more difficult than the original ones. Now it can do 2 direct damage. And then we end up with 10 health, 6 defense dice, and 2 direct damage if he's not next to you. That's during defense as well. So if you're hitting them from a distance. Alright, then our last group of mobs are the Troglodytes, which are kind of like the barbaric human group. Oh dude, these guys have Shadow. So 3, 1 defense, Shadow attack. They get +1 sword or Shadow defense. They get 1 defense. You don't see a lot of enemies with Shadow, so that's definitely cool. I like to have the mobs in the Massive Darkness one have some really cool little effects because they have the ranged attacks. You get Shadow here. Definitely might be worth picking up to play with some of these. So now they're up in the numbers to 2, so they end up with 9 health, 6 defense dice, and then they get +2 swords or +2 shields if they're in the shadows. And then our final Troglodytes are the Brutes. 3 health, 1 defense. In the shadow defense, they get 1 extra defense die. And their stats will keep going up. And then now they get a green die instead of a blue die, which is much better. And then they end with 10 health, 6 dice, and a possible extra defense die. Alright, so that was all of our mobs. There are different mobs there. Alright. Then we're going to look at what were the agents in the original game, which are now roaming monsters. So we're going to start with the Dwarves. So they had one agent which is kind of like the, so like you had the minions, which are like the little generic guys, the leader. This is kind of like the guy that's above the leaders, like the commander of the minions. Is basically what they are. So we're going to zoom back out a little bit so we can see his stats. So like all the other ones, they're going to have their attack listed on there, and they have special activation fees or costs. So here we have, let's scoot these over a little bit more, center that. So we have 3 health per hero, 2 attack dice, a blue and a black. If at least one hero is in the Dwarf agent's zone, Dwarf agent attacks one hero in that zone. Otherwise, Dwarf agent moves 3 zones towards the closest hero and spawns a mob in its zone. This mob doesn't activate at the end of the round. So that's the other thing agents did. They were like portable spawn zones. Like, so that's why you wanted to take care of them. So I kind of hope that's ability that everyone carries over. Because that was a neat little idea. But they'd move around and then they'd spawn extra mobs and minions to come help them. Although it's also just a spawning mobs, it's going to be a random one. It doesn't spawn necessarily characters of that type. Then he has melee defense, he gets 1 extra slash. And then we'll look at his upgraded stats. So again, with everything else, is their health, their different dice go up. This went up to 2 down here. Usually the activation abilities don't change or don't change much, depending on what they do. Alright, yeah, so this guy now has 12 health per hero, 4 blue die, 2 green die, 2 black dice. His attack is melee with 2 yellow, 2 red, 2 black. Yeah, you want to get next to this guy. So as long as he's near you, he'll attack guys. But if he's not, he'll summon people. So once he comes up, you're going to want to get right next to him. And just start hitting him. Even if you have to worry about taking damage back from him, it's better than him summoning mobs. Especially because he'll move close to you and then summon a mob on top of you. Alright, first we looked at dwarves, then we looked at goblins. So let's look at our goblin agent. The goblin agent. 3 health per hero. 1 blue, 1 black die. His attack is melee. 1 yellow, 1 black. At least 1 hero in goblin agent's zone that agent attacks that 1 hero. Otherwise, goblin agent moves 3 zones towards the closest hero and spawns a mob in its zone. Alright, so far it's looking like they might all be the same thing, but even so, it's not terrible. Just lets you do a different little thing. So we got upgraded stats, gets +2 swords. Their little abilities on the bottom of their dice roll are all going to be different. So 12 health per hero, 4, 2, and 1, and then 3, 2, and 2. So he basically sacrifices, compared to the dwarf, he sacrifices 1 black dice in his defense to gain 1 extra attack die. Alright, there's our goblin. Then we had orcs. So 4 health per hero, so a little bit stronger than the other guys. 1 defense, blue and black, and melee attack of yellow and black. So same abilities. If he's 1 hero is going to attack him, otherwise he'll move and spawn, but his special ability is the attack the claw. He heals 1. These orcs have good healing. Now he can heal up to 2. Then heal 3. And luckily it stops there, because otherwise I'd start to get very obnoxious. Alright, so then he has 14 health per hero. He has 5 blue dice, 1 green, and 1 black. So he has lots of defense dice, but not as good, because he doesn't have as many green. But his attacks, he gets a lot more shadow dice, so it lets him heal a lot more. Or not shadow, but the black one, the monster guy. Awesome. Alright, then if we look at our expansion agents, we have the Rattlings. That's not a Ratling, that's a Reptilian. Let's look at the Rattling first. Alright, 3 health per hero. Basic same guys, blue, black, yellow, black. He attacks a hero or summons his defense. They'll add 1 minion to all mobs in Rattling Agent Zone if possible. Oh boy. So yeah, if you don't take him out, and then these guys, you can kind of see how they work really well with their own groups. Because the 1 Rattling did extra direct damage if you had more than half. So as long as he stays near those guys, he can keep them summoning more and more every time. So now he's got 5 health. I don't think his abilities are going to change at all because of what they are. Alright, so he ends up with 12 health per hero, 5, 1, and 2 dice for defense, and 3, 3, and 1. Still has 1 minion to all mobs in Rattling Zone if possible. Then we have the Reptilian. Three health per hero. Same beginning, guys. Blue, black, yellow, black. Same ability. His special attack is 1 claw deals 1 direct damage. And then when he gets to the level 5, he ups it to 2 damage. And it stays right there. But then he ends up with 12 health per hero. 4 blue die, 2 green die, 1 black, and then 3, 1, and 3. So he's got some decent defense and decent damage. And then finally, our last agent is the Troglodyte agent. And I do like how all these guys have like these letters on them. Like around their chest up here. So it's just all the different agents have that. So you can see like he has his. He's got those. He's got his. So it's kind of like, you know, like the same type of studded armor and everything. So it's kind of like, hey, we took 1 character from each race and we upgraded them. Alright, so he has 3 health per hero. Same basic dice, same basic abilities, but he has shadow defense. He gets +1 shield. Now he gets +2 shields at the bottom, +3 shields. And then his level 10 version is 12 health per hero, 4, oh he has some good defense, 4 blue, 2 green, and 2 black. And his attack is 3 orange, 2 red, and 2 black. Plus as his defense is up, gives him an extra 3 shield. It's going to be fairly hard to kill. Alright, so now we're going to jump into, now we've looked at all the basics kind of guys, we're going to go to all the unique roaming monsters. Again, this is going to be from the base set and all the expansions. I will try and group them together in the expansions they went with, but I won't remember. Alright, so our roaming monsters, much like our minions, mobs, we're going to get the 6 cards for them for all the different levels. We'll do the same thing. We'll kind of just go through the rest of the agents. We've already seen the agents, which are already roaming monsters. These guys are in there. The agents that match the one with the troops that were in the mobs that were in the base game were also in the base game, and then the ones that were with the expansions like Rattlings, Troglodytes, and Reptilians were also in those boxes. Each one of them also came with an extra roaming monster, so we'll look at them first. So first we're going to do the roaming monsters that would be in the base game, and then we'll do the 3 sets that we've already kind of over, and then start with the rest of the other different expansions. So we have a high troll to begin with. We have 6 health per hero. So 2 blue guy and 1 black guy, and his melee attack is 1 yellow and 2 yellow and 1 black. If there are no heroes in line of sight, high troll moves 3 zones towards the hero at the lowest health. If the hero at the lowest health is in line of sight, place high troll in that hero's zone and attack that hero. Ooh, so he rushes right in if he can see you. Interesting. His attack, 1 claw, gets him +1 damage. And we'll kind of fly through the rest of these. So now he has 2 swords on his special attack, 3 swords. And then when we get to his level 10, he's up to 19 health. He has 5 blue, 2 green, 1 black defense. And his melee attack is 3 orange, 2 red, and 2 black, plus 3 swords on his black attack die. So there's our High Troll. Up next we have the Hellhound, which will go really good with the demons that we have in there. Put him with Cerberus. Alright, so he has 5 health per hero, 2 blue and 2 black dice, but he has magic ranged attack, 1 and 1 orange actually. So if there's a hero within magic range, Hellhound attacks the closest hero twice. Otherwise, Hellhound moves 2 zones towards the closest hero and rolls 1 orange die. Each hero magic range takes wounds equal to the swords. Melee defense, add 1 fire to the attacking hero. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. So he shoots at you from a slight distance, not super far. Otherwise, he gets closest to you, and then he'll shoot at you again. He'll shoot at everybody. But if you run up and hit him because he's basically made of fire, you're gonna take damage, or potentially if he rolls that black die and he gets that. That is actually pretty cool. Then he's gonna upgrade his stats. So it doesn't look like he now rolls more orange die for his middle attack, because now he's rolling up to 3. And finally, he'll actually roll a red die. Rolls 3 red die. That's crazy. He has 16 health per hero, 5 blue die, 2 green die, 3 black die. And then his range goes 3, 2, and 1. At least he doesn't add more fire, though. I was kind of worried that's where that was going to go. Alright. Since we're looking at demons, let's look at the Abysmal Demon. Seven health per hero, 2 blue, 1 black defense, and magic range, 1 orange, 1 black. At the start of the enemy phase, heroes take a number of wounds equal to the number of heroes in the dungeon, distributed amongst them as they wish. If there's a hero in the Abysmal Dungeon zone, the Abysmal Demon attacks 1 hero in that zone twice with +1 black die. If there are no heroes in magic range, Abysmal Demon moves 2 zones towards the closest hero and attacks them if possible. So his movement's very simple. Basically, if you're in a zone, he's going to hit you twice, but if he's not, he's going to move towards you. And then his attack with the black dice gets +1 claw, and he heals 2. So he does 1 direct damage, and he heals. And he's also just going to automatically do damage to you. This guy is a bruiser. He's like a mini-boss in himself. So I think all this stay the same. And now he heals more. He heals for up to 3. And he gets to roll 2 black dice. Luckily, those numbers don't go up anymore. I kind of get worried when I start seeing that. So 18 health per hero, 5 blue, 2 green, 1 black defense, and his magic attack is 3, 3, and 1. But he gets a claw, he gets 1 direct slash, and he heals for 3. So he's going to be a pain to fight. Alright, set him off to the side. Let's look at another normally creature. So this is the Orc Mage. I think he was called Orc Shaman in the original game. I think it has changed into mage being a catch-all term, versus shaman being like maybe a specific class. But he has 5 health per hero, 2 blue and 1 black defense, magic range, 2 yellow and 1 black. If there are no heroes in line of sight, Ogre Mage moves 3 zones towards the hero with the most mana. If there is a hero in magic range, each hero in magic range discards 2 mana, and Ogre Mage attacks the hero with the most mana in range. So he absorbs your mana. Defense. The claw, the attacker is moved 1 or 2 zones away and heal 2. Great. So he pushes you away, steals your mana, and heals himself. What a pain. The Ogre Mage. So now you can heal up to 3 in that one. But none of the other stuff changes. So it's 15 health per hero, 4, 3, and 2 defense dice, and 3, 2, and 1 for his magic range. And if the attacker is more than one or more zone away, he heals for 3. So yeah, you just to heal up as long as he's there. So yeah, he's gonna try and keep you at a distance if possible so he can heal himself. Alright. What would a dungeon crawler game be without a spider? So we have the giant spider card. 6 health, 2 defense, 1 black die. Oh good, someone with range finally. I was wondering if we were going to get some ranged characters in here. So 2 yellow melee or 2 and +1 if you got range. There's a hero in Giant Spider's zone. Giant Spider attacks that hero with +1. There's a hero in line of sight. Giant Spider attacks the furthest hero. So if he's in a zone, he does melee. If they're farther away, he'll shoot them. It's just pretty basic on what he does. But it's a giant spider. Makes perfect sense. Ranged attack, claw, adds 1 frost to the defending hero and place him in the giant spider zone. Cool, this is kind of working like a spider's net. He's going to ensnare you and then he's going to pull you towards them, then he can whap on you some more. Although it's kind of weird because he attacks at +1 sword if he's in that zone, but at line of sight he does more because he gets to roll. Currently I just roll a shadow dice, so he might do extra direct damage. Alright, then his stats are all going to go up. Now it gets +2 swords. And that gives him +3. Get some better dice in there. +4. So then he ends up with 17 health per hero. Now if he hits you at melee, he gets 4 extra swords right off the bat. So now pulling him closer makes a lot more sense. His melee attack is 3 and 2. His range is 3, 3, and 1. So it's still going to be pretty devastating at ranged attacks anyhow. Alright. Then the last roaming monster that would have been in the base game is Lilyarch. Kind of seemed like she would have been a boss. 5 health per hero, 2 blue and 1 black defense, 2 yellow and 1 black melee. There's a hero in Lilyarch's zone with an active set power. Lilyarch attacks that hero with +1 black die, or 1 claw, not even a black die, it's just straight gets a claw. If there's a hero with an active set power in the dungeon, Lilyarch moves 3 zones towards that hero and attacks them if possible. So she's going to try and hit whoever has an active set power. And then she's going to go after anybody else. So what is an active set power? Does the book tell me? It probably doesn't. I might have to look up what exactly they mean by active set power. Yeah, there's not like a quick rule book in here. Yeah, I'll have to actually look at the main book, see exactly what an active set power is. Because, I mean, set power, I'm thinking, like, that they have the set gear, but I think that's, like, way too vague. Otherwise, she has attack, claw after combat, attack the same hero again if possible, once per enemy phase. Let's look at her upgrades. I'm going to scoot her back just a bit. She's still the same thing, just better. So she just gets better stats, and none of her other numbers go up, which is kind of nice. Alright, so 15 health per hero, 4 blue, 3 green, and 1 black die, and attack is 3, 2, 2, and 1. She has lots of attack days. Plus she gets that extra shadow ability. It says after combat. So if she does attack in her zone, she gets to attack the same hero twice if possible. She automatically gets one of those. Alright, those are our base ones. Then we wanted to look at our first expansion. So we had the Rattling enemy box. So we've seen the Rattlings. Now we're going to get the Rattling Bully to join them. So it's 4 health per hero, 2 blue, 1 black defense, and melee is 2 yellow and 1 black. If there are no Rattling warriors and no Rattling crossbowmen in the dungeon, roll 1 black dice. Spawn a mob of the current dungeon level in Rattling Bully zone according to the results. Spawn the mob activates after Rattling Bully. If you get 1, you get the crossbowmen. You get 0, you get the warriors. After spawning, shuffle the mob deck. Otherwise, Rattling Bullies moves 2 zones towards the closest hero and attacks them if possible. So, if there are no other mobs in there, he's going to summon 1 to help him out. And then if there is 1 in there, he's going to just go through and attack. That's pretty cool. He summons his own mob. And then it says attack claw. Spawn 1 minion on 1 Rattling mob if possible. So if you kill them, then it keeps summoning them. So imagine like him with the agent who's going to keep summoning mobs, and then they're going to keep teaming up with the Rattlings, which have the ability if they have less than 1 crossbowman, if they have less than more than half their health, they get stuff. So they're going to keep refueling them. Oh boy, these guys could become a pain. Alright, so if we're going to up this, we'll see what else we do. I think all this stuff is just going to be stats going up. There's not really a whole lot more you can do because everything's just set numbers. But he ends up with 14 health per hero, 4, 3, and 1 defense dice, and 2, 3, and 2 for his attacks. That's pretty cool. I love that it also references a specific one. I think that's the first roaming monster, period, that references another group. Then we have this big honker. This goes with the Reptisaurians. We have Reptisaurus Rex. 6 health per hero, 2 blue, 1 black defense, and attack is melee, 2 yellow, 1 black. If there's a hero up to 1 zone away, Reptisaurus Rex moves 1 zone towards the closest hero and attacks him if possible. Otherwise, he moves 3 zones towards the closest hero. After each move, each hero in line of sight takes 1 wound. Oh, that's crazy. So, like, if he's in an open area, he's going to hit a bunch of people. I don't know what that really represents. If they're just terrified of him, or if he's throwing stuff as he's moving. But, yeah. Like, yeah, interesting. And then if he has the claw, he gets defender gets -1 defense. So he's more or less just a basic attacker, but still, nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you don't want guys that have a ton of gimmicks. Get too many guys with special gimmicks, you have to keep trying to remember of what they do. Not that they're not fun to do, but if you have too many, like if you had 5 guys that all had like the Rattling Bully's ability, where you keep, oh, these guys in here do this, summon this, or if you had guys with like tokens and did this, it would probably make the game a little bit longer, a little bit harder. But this guy at level 10 has 19 health per hero, so that's going to bring him a lot closer to some of the bosses. If there's a hero up to 1 zone, that all stays the same. Defender gets -2 shields. His defense is 4, 3, and 1, and his attack is 3, 2, and 2. So yeah, he's just going to run around flailing his arms, hitting people. Alright, and then with our Troglodytes, which are the last special expansion, we get the Minotaurs. I think originally it's the Bloodseeker Minotaur, but now it's just the Minotaur. Be kind of fun to set up like a Labyrinth to play against him in. 6 health per hero, 2 blue, 1 black defense, melee, he gets 1 orange and 1 black. If the Minotaurs attack this round, place a Minotaur in the zone of the last hero that attacked it, and attack that hero with +1 sword. Otherwise, the Minotaur moves 2 zones towards the closest hero and attacks him if possible. He gets 1 claw, he gets +2 attack, and the Minotaur takes 1 wound. Interesting. So he gets hurt from hitting people, but he gets extra damage. But he's going to kind of just go after. I like that it says, if someone hurt him, he's just going to hunt that guy down and hit him. He's not going to care where they are. So we have upgraded, so he gets +2, takes 1. Now he gets +3 on the bottom. And his sword up at the top. Now it goes up to +3 as well. And then when we hit level 10, he has 18 health per hero. Defense dice is 4, 3, and 1. Attack is 3, 2, and 2. His special gets 3 swords, and he takes a wound. And then also now if he reattacks, he gets +4 sword. So if you don't take him out like in a turn, he's going to hunt you down for some extra damage. Alright. Then we're going to look at our first full enemy box, which has no minions and no mobs. But this is the Elementals pack. So the Elementals pack had 4 roaming monsters. So we're going to start with the Water Elemental, which is a little fun with now we got the Storm Elementals and the Fire entities we could play with. 5 health per hero, 2 blue, 1 black defense, and magical range, 1 yellow, 1 black. If Water Elemental has been attacked this round, Water Elemental moves 2 zones towards the hero who attacked it last and attacks them if possible, using the same number and color of attack dice used against it instead of its regular die. Oh, it's like reflect damage. Otherwise, the Water Elemental moves 2 zones towards the closest hero and attacks them if possible. Defense, the defending hero takes 1 frost. So he's going to freeze you in place. That is crazy. Alright, let's look at his upgrades. I don't think most of this stuff is going to change because of what they do. It's just going to get harder to kill. So he ends up with 16 health per hero, 4, 3, and 2 for defense, and magic attack is 3, 2, and 1. Still only 1 frosted damage, or token. Alright, after water, let's look at fire. This guy's crazy looking. So he's kind of like a fire demon, like contained in like scrap iron almost. 5 health per hero, 1 blue but 2 black guys, which is different. In magical range, 1 orange and 1 black. If there's a hero with fire in magical range, Fire Elemental attacks the closest hero. After that, resolve all fire from heroes in magic range using orange instead. Otherwise, Fire Elemental moves 2 spaces towards the closest hero and attacks him if possible. Combat, add 1 fire to the attacking or defending hero. Oh boys, he's gonna add fire to guys. I also like this: if there's a hero with fire in range, he attacks whoever the closest hero is. It doesn't even matter if it's that guy. So if he's sitting there and you have 2 characters and 1 has fire and 1 doesn't, he's gonna hit the guy that's not on. He could potentially hit the guy that's not on fire. So it's actually kind of funny. Alright, and then it's just gonna up his stats. None of his stuff should change because there's no numbers on there to change. The only thing I am surprised is that it didn't up it to a red die. That kind of surprised me. I'm surprised it didn't up it. 16 health per hero. A 4, 3, and 1 for defense. Magic attack is 3, 3, and 2. Still only adds 1 fire. Alright. Number 3 is we're going to get the Earth Elemental. Big giant guy, and he's throwing a giant stone slab. Which is interesting because like his card shows more of like a crystal. Here he's got like a brick wall. They probably just changed it, design at some point, but that's alright. 5 health per hero, 2 blue and 1 black, and his melee attack is 1 yellow, 1 black. Earth Elemental spawns give it 2 pillars, if possible, placing them next to the miniature. When Earth Elemental moves, bring the pillars along with it. If Earth Elemental has at least one pillar, and there's a hero in line of sight, discard one pillar. Earth Elemental performs a melee or ranged attack against the closest hero in line of sight with 2 orange dice instead of its regular attack dice. Otherwise, Earth Elemental moves 2 zones towards the closest hero and attacks them. That is awesome. So he throws, either smacks you or throws his pillars. And then defense, one hand, gets +1 defense for each pillar on Earth Elemental. So until he gets next to you, or he can see you, he's gonna have extra defense. The only thing that would have been kind of neat would have been if he would have had a way to summon or create more pillars. Like if he had, I don't think nobody seems to ever have a second ability, but it would have been kind of neat if he would have had like, roll a second black dice or something. It would have been like if you had 3 claws or something, he would have or like 2 claws maybe. We would gain the option to like pick up another pillar. Or if he walked over to that spot where the pillar is, he picked it up. That would have been kind of neat too. Just gonna have some upgraded stats. So now he gets 3 orange die instead, plus 2 defense on the bottom yet. Oh boy, yeah. So look at how bad this is gonna get. 2 orange and 2 red. Some of them red dice have 4 swords on them. Yeah, in his final one, he's nasty. 16 health per hero, 4, 3, and 2 for defense. Attack is 3, 2, and 1. With them pillars, he can throw at you from any distance if he sees you. Are 2 and 3. So you just roll 5 dice. He could get, I think, them 3. There's 3 red dice. You got super lucky. He could end up getting 4 swords on each one. That's 12. And I think the double dice, the orange dice, have a maximum of 2. But even still, so that'd be another 4. So 16 swords that you'd have to try and block. That could be really hard to do at a range distance. So it could be hitting like a mage character who's not meant to like necessarily take a ton of damage. That's awesome. Hopefully you have enough armor and everything like that by that point. Then we finally have the Air Elemental. 5 health per hero, 2 blue and 1 black defense dice and magical range. 1 orange and 1 black. If there's a hero in magic range, Air Elemental attacks the closest hero. After the attack, move the hero 2 zones away from Air Elemental. If possible, do not take reaction damage. Otherwise, Air Elemental moves 2 zones towards the closest hero and attacks him if possible. An attack with the hand, if the hero is 1 zone away, you get 1 slash. Interesting. So she not as many rules as the other 3 elementals. More or less, she's just, if she hits you, she's gonna try and push you away. And then if she can hit you from like 1 zone away, which is your magical attack, she'll do direct damage. I would maybe like something where she rolled a die, I guess, and like pushed you back that many spaces to kind of keep you at distance. But that's alright. So the bottom one's just going to do more damage, just plus 2 claws, and then finally we do 3. So 14 health per hero, 4, 2, and 1 defense. Magical attack is 3, 2, and 1, and then she does, there's 1 zone away, she does 3 permanent damage. Yeah. Interesting. Cool. So that is our Air Elemental packs. And then we'll look over our hero packs, our hero versus villain packs, and then these stretch goal packs. That wasn't even her final card. Oh, we gotta find her final card. That was her 7 to 10. So her final card's mixed under somebody else's. Alright, I found the Air Elemental card quick. So her actually final one is more or less the same. She has 1 extra green die for defense, and 1 extra red die for attack, and 2 more health. Otherwise, everything else is basically the same. Not going to spend too much time on her. We just missed that level 10 card. Want to make sure we had that showing. Alright, so the first next expansion we're going to look at is the Hellscape, which came with the Blood Moon Assassins versus the Hellscape. This added some new characters and some classes, as well as this monstrosity. So we'll have to turn him maybe that way. The Hellscape starts with 6 health per hero, 2 blue die, 1 black die for defense, magic range, 1 orange, 1 black. When attacking the Hellscape, heroes can't use the abilities that cost mana. Oh, that's crazy. If there's a hero with magic range weapon equipped in the magic range, Hellscape attacks that hero with plus 3 black die. Otherwise, Hellscape moves 2 zones towards the closest hero and attacks them if possible. In combat, the hero discards 1 mana. He does not like magic users. He's going to run up and kill you. It's awesome. Alright, so still stays with the same numbers. So at the bottom, this is going to up it to plus 3, or plus 2, sorry, discarding 2. And that's all that changes. But now he has 16 health per hero, 5, 2, and 3 for defense, and 1, 3, and 2 at magic range. Plus, if he gets that claw during combat, the hero discards 2 manas. Interesting. Alright, that's the Hellscape. Then we're going to get the Spear Maiden Cyclops, who came with the Warrior Priest versus Spear Maiden Cyclops set. These were the monster hero sets of the unit. So there's her. I love that shield design where it's carved in for your spear. Alright, she has 6 health per hero, 2 blue, 1 black defense, and then she also has a melee attack of 1 and a ranged attack of both 1 orange or 1 and 1 black dice. If there's a hero in Spear Maiden Cyclops' zone, attack that hero. They cannot roll defense dice. Oh, jeez. If there's a hero in line of sight, you attack the closest hero in line of sight, then move 2 zones towards them. Yeah, so fight her at a distance, because otherwise you lose your defense. And that defense, she also gains plus 1 blue die. She rolls a black one. That's crazy. Alright, then up the stats. I don't think anything's going to change on the other numbers. Oh, but we are going to get a green die instead of a blue die. And then, holy crap, look at this. 18 health per player. 5 blue die, 5 black dice. And every time she rolls a shadow claw on her defense, she gains an extra green die to roll, which is even more defense. And then her melee attack and ranged attacks are the same, with 3 orange, 3 red, and 1 black. Oh, that's crazy. You can't roll defense dice. How are you? You have to have abilities that stop attacks. That is nuts. Alright, up next is the Cockatrix. And this was the Noble Warriors versus the Cockatrix pack. So it has 5 health per hero, 2 blue, 1 black. Defense, melee and ranged attacks are either 1 yellow, 1 black, or 2 yellow and 1 black. I like the ranged attack characters. Not that I really am excited to fight them, but I like to get added some more of them. If there's a hero in line of sight of a portal, place Cockatrix on the closest portal zone that has a hero in line of sight and attack the closest hero in line of sight. So there's a hero in line of sight of a portal. He moves to that portal zone that has the hero in line of sight, and then he attacks him. So if somebody else sees a portal, he moves to that portal so he can hit them. So they basically teleport 2 portals. There's a hero in line of sight, he attacks the closest hero in line of sight. Defense, 1 claw. Attacking hero loses their remaining actions for the round. Oh boy, that's on defense. Yeah, it's kind of neat. He teleports to a portal, so basically you gotta avoid being in portals and avoid seeing him, or he's going to attack you. I know the general legend of a Cockatrix is they turn you to stone. If you look at them, that's a basilisk. basilisks do that cocky trick. So it's kind of neat. It's a teleport ability. I like it. Something different. We haven't seen that before. So, you know, his other stats are probably going to go change otherwise. Just extra dice. But now he has 15 health per hero. 3, 2, and 3 for his defense. And his melee is 3 and 2. His range is 3, 3, and 2. So, yeah, right. If you can get next to him, he's probably a little bit easier to take care of. But he's also going to teleport around. Because it's also going to see if you could be standing right next to him, but if there's another hero has a line of sight to a portal and you no longer do, he's going to teleport and go after that guy instead. Because he's always going to do that first skill. Then we have Lord Tusk. Lord Tusk came with the Sorcerers versus Lord Tusk set. Alright, so Lord Tusk has 5 health per hero. 2 blue and 1 black defense, melee 2 yellow, 1 black. Lord Tusk melee attacks have a range of 0 to 1, so this is magical range. If there's more than 1 hero in range, Lord Tusk attacks the 2 closest hero. If there's only 1 hero, he attacks that hero. Combat. Get the hand, you get +1 slashes if the hero is not in Lord Tusk's zone. So basically, if you're at distance, he's going to hit you even harder. Plus, if he's near you, can hit 2 guys. That's crazy. That's awesome. Like, it makes sense. There's a guy wielding 2 big giant blades. He's gonna swing both of them around. But he only attacks 2 heroes, so he doesn't attack everybody. So he's level 10, 17 health per hero, 4, 2, and 3 defense dice, and his melee attack is 2, 3, and 3. His combat ability stays the same. Alright. Alright, so now we're going to get to every other character here was in the Lightbringer expansion pack, which was the stretch goals. So these are all of our stretch goal characters from the first one. We're going to start kind of with common theme characters. We're going to start with some low trolls, who has 5 health per hero, 1 blue, 2 black defense, and melee at 1 orange, 1 black. When low troll spawns, remove all active notes from the bard musician dashboard, if any. Oh, sweet. That's the first time they specified a class. If there's a bard in the dungeon, place a low troll in each bard zone and attack them with 1 sword for each active note. Otherwise, low troll moves 2 zones towards the closest hero and attacks them. Defense. If low troll would be killed after combat, it stays alive with 1 health instead. That's nuts. So if he rolls out, he can basically not die. And he just hunts down bards. That is cool. Now I'm hoping that there's other characters in here that specifically hunt down all the rest of the classes. Because that would be awesome. To have like, sort of like a nemesis, if you will. Also, removing all active notes. It costs 3 mana to put one of them down. That can set you way back. Oh, that is awesome. I love this. Alright, so you're just gonna have some upgraded stats. I don't think they're gonna make him any more terrible than that. What they did, they upped his attack to 2 for each active note. But luckily he doesn't stay with any more health on his defense roll. He has 16 health per hero, 15, 2, and 3 defense dice, and melee attack is 3, 3, and 1. Yeah, if there's no bard, he's super easy. I mean, not easy, but he's not as bad because he's just gonna he's gonna move towards you and attack. If you have that bard, he's gonna make their life a living hell. Alright, we have we have an Ogre. Ogre Rockbreaker. This guy says Berserker. 5 health per hero. Defense, 2 blue guy, 1 black. Melee attack, 1 orange, 1 black. When Ogre Rockbreaker spawns, the Berserker loses all their rage, if any. Oh. If there is a Berserker in the dungeon, Berserker changes its stance with the least skills, then place Ogre Rockbreaker in the Berserker zone and attack them. Otherwise, he moves 2 towards the closest hero. Attack, 1 claw, ignore 1 defense, die with the most shields. That is awesome. So he's basically like a berserker sees him, he loses all his rage for whatever reason, and then this guy's gonna run up and be like, "You're weak. Now go to your weakest ability. You have no rage left. You're weak, and I'm gonna beat on you." That is fantastic. Ignore 2 defense dice at the bottom. His stats are gonna just keep going up. And then he finally ends with 17 health per hero, 4, 3, and 1 defense dice, and melee attack 3, 2, and 2, and ignores 2 defense dice with the most defense. Oh, that's insane. Alright, we have another ogre here. We have the Ogre Brute. The Ogre Brute, oh sweet, I did not plan this. He has 5 health per hero, 2 blue, 1 black defense, melee attack 2 yellow, 1 black. Ogre Brute can't be targeted by ranged attacks, which is already makes him a pain. If there is a ranger in the dungeon, place Ogre Brute in the ranger zone and attack them. Before the attack, draw and discard 1 arrow card, plus 1 attack for each arrow revealed this way, and apply any broken arrows on it for the ranger's attack. Awesome. If there's a ranger in the gun, place the brute in the ranger zone and attack them. Before the attack, draw and discard 1 arrow. That's crazy. So he gets bonuses for the just having number of arrows, and then if there's any of the broken effects, they suffer them. Otherwise, he moves 2 zone and attacks the closest hero. Attack 1, add 1 frost to the defending hero. I'm not really sure if the frost comes in. Maybe it's kind of free, on both and scares him. That's nuts. Alright, let's see what else he does. I mean, you can't get too much more crazy than that, right? Except then he does. So now he's going to get 2 there instead. So 17 health per hero, 4, 3, and 1 defense dice. Melee attack is 3, 2, and 2. He does 2 swords for every arrow, and he also still adds 1 frost if he gets the attack. Oh, that's crazy. So that's 3 of the classes. We have this gentleman here who's called Foreman, or Fomoring. He kind of looks like he might be some sort of ogre beast. I'm not really sure, like an ogre troll type of guy, but he attacks druids. So he has 5 health per hero. When he spawns, reduce each druid's attack by 2 blue, 1 black defense dice, and his melee attack is 2 yellow, 1 black. So it says when he spawns, reduce each druid's attack by 1. When the druid is in the dungeon, druid transform to their original forms without triggering any abilities or effects, and reduce each track by 1. Then place Formorian in the druid zone and attack them. Otherwise, use 2 spaces towards the possible hero who attacks them. Attack claw 1, plus 1 sword for each hero in his zone. So it's really fun about these guys, besides it gives them nemesis for the different classes, is if you want a little bit easier mode, you can, if you're not using those classes, you can add these guys in, because then they just attack. They move 2 zones and they attack. They don't do anything extra special. But yeah, if you want a challenge for these classes, add these guys in. Even more fun is shuffle them in when you know the classes are being played, because in that way, but don't tell the other players you're doing it. So they don't know, all of a sudden they just, oh crap, I got this guy. Everyone's like, you guys want to help me take out this dude, because he's really, messing with me. So 17 health per hero, 5, 2, and 1 defense dice. Melee attack is 3, 2, and 2. He also has shadow ability, or claw on there, does plus 2 for each hero in his zone. Also, his ability reduces the when they transform, and reduces each track by 2. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Alright, that's 4 different ones. Alright. We have some more possible ogre guys. We have a double-headed guy here. So this is Graz and Prug. 6 health per hero, 2 blue defense, 1 black. Melee attack, 1 orange, 1 black. It says before Graz and Prug's activation roll 1 black die. If 1 hand was rolled, they move 3 zones towards the closest hero and attack them if possible. Otherwise, they move 3 zones towards the hero with the most health and attack them if possible. Ooh, so you can either move towards the closest or the one with the most health, depending on what you roll. So there's more of a chance to probably go towards the guys with the more health. So he might, he doesn't want to pick on the weaklings. It's kind of honorific of him. Now the bottom he's just going to gain some attack against 1. Did I actually say what the first one was? Yeah. So it's just the claw, it's +1 yellow die. So he's also fairly simple, what he does. 16 health per hero, 4, 3, and 1 defense, 3, 2, and 3 melee damage, and he keeps his +1 yellow die. Nothing too spectacular, but hey, that's alright. Alright, then we're going to have a flesh golem, or golem, however you like to pronounce it. So he's kind of like a Frankenstein-y monster, without having Frankenstein. So he has 5 health per hero, 2 blue die and 1 black for defense. Melee attack is 2 yellow, 1 black. When flesh golem spawns, kill the closest mob leader or roaming monster revived by the necromancer, if any. If the necromancer is in the dungeon, the necromancer loses 3 souls and flesh golem heals for 3. Place flesh golem in the necromancer zone and attack them. Otherwise, he moves 2 zones towards the closest hero and attacks them if possible. Awesome. So basically, he shuts down. He kills one of your roaming monsters. That would suck. Luckily, he only gets to do that once when he spawns. Otherwise, yeah, just every turn he can lose 3 skulls or souls, and then he heals for 3. So you basically don't want to gain souls until you kill him. Otherwise, you're just healing him, unless you can gain them and spend them immediately. All right, the next bottom now he heals for 2. If he has combat, gets a hand, he heals for 2. I think the original one he only healed for 1. Yep, and then now he heals for 2. His stats are just going to go up. Now he can heal for 3 with his bottom ability. Alright, so it's 17 health per hero, 4, 2, and 2 for defense. Melee attack is 3, 2, and 2. And his combat ability still lets him heal for 3, and the rest of his abilities stayed the same. Oh boy. That's awesome. Awesome. That's 4 of the classes. Alright, since we looked at a flesh golem, let's look at the opposite side of an iron golem. So this is our giant king man. 5 health per hero, defense 1 blue, 2 black, melee attack 1 orange, 1 black. Iron Golem cannot take fire or frost damage. Makes sense. If there's a shaman in the dungeon, the shaman loses all elements from the elemental track with the most elements. Place Iron Golem in the shaman zone and attack them with 1 sword for each element track max they have. Oh, so if they've maxed stuff out, you can just smack them. Otherwise, Iron Golem moves 2 spaces towards the closest hero and attacks him. Defense 1. Iron Golem cannot take more than 3 wounds from this attack. Oh, so you can... That's crazy. So you can't take fire, can't take frost. It's gonna take less wounds. Just in that in itself is a pain. And then plus you can also shut down shamans. Alright, so he's upgrading. So now he can get to this one. Now he has 3 swords for each element tracked at max. And he's level 10. 17 health per hero. 4, 2, and 3 defense. Melee attack is 3, 2, and 1. And he can't take more than 3 wounds. Oh, love it. Love this. I love these cards. Alright, since we had an iron character, let's look at a living construct. So we had 1 suit of armor that was living. Now we have a different guy that's kind of similar. So 5 health per hero. Living 2 defense, blue dice, and 1 black for defense. He has no attack die. That's crazy. He just has 1 black die. I've not seen that before. New things. I love it. When living construct spawns, draw a mob item card of 1 tier above the dungeon level and equip it to the living mob construct. It uses this weapon as if it were a mob. Oh, so it gets to... That's sweet. If there's a tinker in the dungeon, place the living construct in the tinker zone and attack them with +2 swords if they're using any exo armor parts. If the hero is in attack range, living construct attacks the closest hero in attack range. And then attack defense, or attack the one called defender, discards 1 item unless they take 2 wounds. Oh, so that's neat. I haven't seen that before either. He doesn't have a move ability though. So yeah, if there's a tinker in there, he's going to move around. Otherwise, he sits in one spot until someone gets near him. So he's kind of just going to hang out there, and then you get near him, he's going to bash on you unless he has a ranged weapon, and then he's going to shoot you from wherever he's at. But he doesn't move around unless there's a tinker. So it's kind of a little bit weaker. The rest of his stuff is really neat, but his against another class is kind of weak because yeah, he's going to go after the tinker, but only if he's using exo armor. So if you choose not to use exo armor, he doesn't gain a bonus against the tinker, which is kind of a bummer. But we upgrade it. Now he's going to get +3 if they have the exo armor. Discarding item, though, could really be a pain in the ass. Now he has +4, and they can take 3 wounds, or if they take 4 wounds. 17 health per hero, defense is 4, 3, and 1, and he has 3 black dice. And then every time they roll a shadow, the defender has to discard an item unless they take 4 wounds. Which could kill a lot of guys unless they can keep discarding items. And again, I think that's sort of against the tinker because they have all their gizmos they can discard instead. So if he gets next to him, that is the one way he kind of focuses on the other parts of the tinker. Alright, we have another Cyclops here. The Cliffbreaker Cyclops. So Cliffbreaker Cyclops has 6 health per hero, 2 blue, 1 black defense. He also has 2 yellow, 1 black melee range and regular ranged attack. If Cliffbreaker Cyclops performs a ranged attack, destroy any pillars that hinder it. If Cliffbreaker Cyclops has 6 or less health, which is what it starts with, moves 4 zone towards the closest hero and attacks them with 2 attack if possible. If there's a hero in line of sight, attack the furthest hero in line of sight. So he's basically going to smash you in the face, but if he has to, he'll throw a rock at you from a distance. Ranged attack, 1 claw, reroll each non-blank defense dice. So you have to reroll your defense against him. He's kind of a beast. Alright, so he's going to move forward, does 3 damage if possible. He has 9 or less health. As long as he's at full health, he'll do, he won't move towards you. He'll kind of just throw stuff at you, but once you hit him a couple of times, then when he gets up to his later ones, now he does 3, he has 12 or less health. And then finally, if he has 15 or less health. He starts with 18 health per hero. It's per hero, it's not per each one. So he has to be way low for him to actually take. So basically, he's going to throw rocks at you, and then when he gets hurt enough, he's going to rush towards you and start bashing you in the face. which is really fun. So you had 4, 3, and 1 defense, and his ranged attacks and melee attacks are the same, with 3, 2, and 3. Awesome. Ow, ow, I just caught my thumb on his horn. Alright. Up next, let's look at some more monsters. We've had like a Frankenstein monster. We've had like a suit of armor. Let's have a werewolf. Why not, right? So werewolf has 5 health per hero, 2 blue, 1 black defense. Melee is 2 yellow, 1 black. If werewolf has full health, werewolf performs an activation as if it were performs an activation over the mob with 4 actions instead. Oh, so it's basically he's going to attack or move up to 4 times. So if he needs to move, he can move multiple times to get near you. If he's right next to you, he'll hit you 4 times. If werewolf has less than half of its starting health, moves 2 zones towards the closest hero and attacks them with +1 claw if possible. And then attack reroll 1 of werewolf's blank dice. This is kind of interesting. So he's at full health, he's going to get a lot of extra actions. But if he's at less than half, he's only going to move 2. So if he's somewhere between full health and half health, he's just going to kind of stand there and not do anything. Is at least how I'm interpreting that. Alright, so then he's going to get to reroll. First one, let him reroll 2 die? Oh, reroll 1, not up to rerolling 2 dice. And then he's going to up this stuff. Reroll up to 3 die. And there you go. So 16 health per hero. 4, 3, and 1 defense dice. And a melee attack is 2, 3, and 2. He can roll up to 3 of his blank dice if he gets a Shadow Claw or a Monster Claw. I keep wanting to call it Shadow because shadows are black. If a werewolf wasn't enough for you, let's try a werebear. Yes, we got a werebear. So 5 health per hero, 2 blue, 1 black defense. Melee is 2 yellow, 1 black. If there's only 1 hero in its zone, werebear attacks them and adds 1 frost to them. If there are more than 1 hero, werebear attacks each hero in that zone. Defense, reroll 1 of werebear's blank dice. Oh, so he has it on the defense. Where the werewolf had it on his attack. Plus, that's fun. He's gonna hit anyone he's near. He doesn't care. Reroll up to 2 of his blank dice. Reroll up to 3. And there we go. It's a 16 health per hero. 4, 2, and 3 defense. Melee attack is 2, 3, and 1. And he gets to reroll up to 3 of his blank dice on a defense. She's got some hide. Alright. We love our were animals, so let's look at a were tiger. So assume we went over to the Middle East now, somewhere. Jungles of Africa, maybe. Or wherever tigers are, I guess. Maybe they're not. I know lions are in Africa. Are tigers? Good question. Not my concern right now, though. 5 health per hero, 2 blue defense dice with 1 black, and melee attack is 2 yellow, 1 black. If there is a hero in line of sight with 2 or less health, place Were Tiger in that hero zone and attack them. If there is a hero in its zone, Were Tiger attacks the hero with the lowest health. So he's going to rush after whoever has the lowest health, otherwise he's just going to attack whoever has the lowest health. In combat, reroll 1 of his blank dice. So the one werewolf gets it on attack. Werebear gets it on defense. The Were Tiger's like, I'm just gonna do it whenever I want. He doesn't care. Now he gets to reroll 2. 3 or less health. So as you go higher, they gain a little bit easier for him to go attack, and it's 4 or less health. And he gets to reroll up to 3 dice. So 16 health per hero, 4, 3, and 2 defense. Melee attack is 2, 3, and 2. He gets to reroll up to 3 dice. But he also only attacks hero in line of sight with 4 or less health. So it's actually kind of, you kind of know it's good. He's not going to attack the weakest character. But it also just means he's going to attack most characters instead of just zooming towards them. Where before he has to wait until they're in his zone. So again, like this, if there's no hero with 4 or less health, like everyone has 5 health, that's in line of sight, he won't move. He'll just sit there and wait. These guys are kind of vicious, but they're kind of nice. So if we're traveling across the world to get some other different enemies, we're going to fight the Oni. Like a Japanese-based villain. 5 health per hero, 2 blue, 1 black defense. Melee attack is 2 yellow, 1 black. When Oni spawns, all heroes discard all monk tokens, if any. Always the monk. If there's a monk in the dungeon, place the Oni in the monk zone and attack them with +1 for each discarded chakra. Otherwise, Oni moves 2 spaces towards the closest hero and attacks them if possible. Melee defense. 1 claw. After combat, Oni deals 1 wound to the attacker and moves 1 zone away from them. So basically, he's going to attack you during defense. If you hit him, he's going to deal a damage to you and then back away. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, discarding all the monk tokens. It's kind of like resetting elemental tracks and getting rid of the toons, and draining souls. It's like these guys shut down these characters. I love it. It makes me want to play as a villain, right? Alright, so he's upgraded. And then finally, by then he's doing 3 wounds to the attacker, and then moves in 1 zone away. That's even crazier. 17 health per hero, 15, 2, and 2, 15. 15 would be crazy. 5, 2, and 2 defense dice, and melee attack is 3, 3, and 1. As the Oni. Alright. Now if we move a little bit over in the countries, we can go to Egypt and we can fight a mummy. Kunha. 5 health per hero, 1 blue and 1 black defense, 2 yellow and 1 black melee attack. When Kunha spawns, each hero discards half of their mana rounded up. If there's a wizard in the dungeon, place Kunha in the wizard zone and attack them. For each wound dealt by this attack, the wizard also discards that much mana. Otherwise, he moves 2 zones to the closest hero and attacks them if possible. So now we have the wizard shut down. You're going to shut down your wizard's mana, which you really need to like cast all your extra spells. Defense, he gains +1 shield and does 1 extra damage. Oh, that's terrible. So I don't think any of the other stuff on his is probably going to change. Alright. So 15 health per hero. 5 black and 5 blue defense. His melee attack is 3, 2, and 1. Oh, it's crazy. I love it. Alright. Okay, so we're down to the last couple of characters for the mobs and minions. So we're going to look at some demon-y characters. So we got Hellsbane. 5 health per hero, 2 blue, 1 black defense, magic attack, 1 black, and 1 orange die. Hellbane spawn enters, return all concentration tokens to the paladin's dashboard if any. There's a paladin in the dungeon, Hellsbane on the paladin zone, and attack them with +1 for each concentration zone in the dungeon. So he first comes, he's going to reset them all, and then now you have to, every time you play him, he's going to do extra damage. There's a hero in the Shadow Zone. Hell Zone moves 3 zones towards the closest hero in a Shadow Zone and attacks him if possible. So if there's no Paladin and nobody's in the Shadow, this guy's going to ignore you. But he has a Shadow attack of 1 claw, add 1 fire to the attacking or defending hero. Awesome. Now he's going to just up his abilities. Now he's going to do +2 for each concentration. Luckily, he doesn't add any more fire damage. So finally, he'll end up with 17 health per hero, 4, 3, and 2 for defense and magic attack range, 3, 3, and 2. Plus, he can attack from the shadows at a distance, which is crazy. Alright, that guy is nuts. I love him. Alright, now we're going to get some weird ones here. So we're going to have this monstrous thing. Nightmare thing, actually. Eyeballs all over it. 5 health per hero. 2 blue, 1 black defense. Melee attack, 1 orange, 1 black. Heroes attacking Nightmare Thing do not roll shadow dice and cannot use their shadow abilities. Nightmare Thing cannot take poison damage. If there's a rogue in the dungeon, draw 2 rogue tokens from the bag and place them in Nightmare Thing. Just place them in him. Then return them to the bag when it is killed. Place Nightmare Thing in the rogue zone and attack it with +2 for each red token on it. Otherwise, Nightmare Thing moves 2 zones towards a possible hero and attacks him. In the shadows, he does +1 sword. That's awesome. So again, even without anything like the rogue, just not be able to do shadow and he attacks from the shadow can make him a little bit harder. But yeah, he's gonna shut down this rogue because if there's a rogue, he's gonna keep taking his tokens until you kill him. Alright, let's see what his upgrades do. So now he does 2 for every red, plus he has 2 at the bottom, plus he has 3 at the bottom from the shadows. Awesome. So his level 10 is 17 health per hero. Defense is 4, 3, and 1, and his melee is 2, 3, 1, and 3. And he gets +3 if he's in the shadows. I think that's all the classes. I might be wrong. We have 2 monsters left. We have this thing. This is the Overseer. He's an alien, I guess. 4 health per hero, 2 blue and 1 black defense. He has melee of 1 yellow, 1 black, or range of 1 orange and 1 black. If there is more than 1 hero in the dungeon, at least 1 hero in line of sight, the closest hero in line of sight moves 2 zones towards the closest other hero, and if possible, attacks them by rolling only their attack dice pool and the defender's dice pool. No skills, abilities, or shadow dice are added to this roll. Oh, sweet. So he takes control of one guy and moves him to attack somebody else. There's at least 1 hero in line of sight. Overseer attacks the closest hero. There's 1 hero in line. At least 1 hero in line of sight. The closest hero in line of sight moves 2 towards their closest other hero. So that's awesome. So it might not even do something right away because it just depends on where they are. That's awesome though. It's a neat little ability. I don't think anything's gonna change. I did not read his shadow or his claw ability. After combat, the hero unequips their armor. So if he attacks you and they get that, he's going to also unequip their armor. So you can go ahead and re-equip it for an action, but there's an action you've spent, and if he hits you before you do that, you're gonna do extra damage, or if another hero hits you. Alright, so 14 health per hero, defense is 4, 3, and 1, attack dice are melee 3 and 3, and range 3, 2, and 3. Awesome. That's cool. Alright, we got one last roaming monster to look at. To save the best for last, we have a unicorn. We have Chromanthus. Alright, so I love this. This is awesome. So 5 health per hero. defense is two blue, 1 black. Melee is magic range, 1 yellow, 1 black. If the fluffy auras are being used, draw a fluffy aura and attach it to Chromantis. It can have multiple auras granting rewards and effects if it was a mob. Then move it 2 zones towards the closest hero and attacks them if possible. Otherwise, Chromantis moves 2 zones towards the closest hero and attacks them if possible. Melee defense is Claw, gets +1 defense. So the fluffy auras are part of one of the Kickstarter exclusive expansions, which is Rainbow Crossing, which is kind of like Simon likes to sort of do jokey sets. They still work thematically with the game. They tie in, but they kind of have jokey themes. And this one was sort of like a Care Bearish theme to offset the horror, which is something they like to do in their horror games. So it has a big giant Huggy Bear, the roaming monster, but it also uses a special aura card that's attached behind mobs that give them special abilities. So then they added Chromantis, works well with that. So now you have, so like the big bear is supposed to represent like Care Bears. So this is also to represent like a My Little Pony, which is the idea of it, kind of the joke behind it. So now he kind of teams up with that set. That's awesome. So he works directly with that expansion. So yeah, like every character being able to kind of work with, or different characters being able to attack different groups or different heroes as Nemesis is really cool. Then this guy working that set, it kind of makes me wish like the Elementals would have maybe worked with some of the Elementals or the living Golem cards that worked with living Golems. They could have had some more thematic crossovers, which would have been cool. Alright, let's see what his upgraded stats do. I think it's just going to be giving him extra numbers. Nothing else really changes. Alright, then if we hit level 10, 16 health per hero, 5, 1, and 3 for defense, and magic range is 2, 2, 2, and 1. Alright, so that's going to be the end of our mobs and roaming monsters, and there was a ton of them. This isn't even half of the deck. Alright, so that'll be part 1. We'll do part 2 where we'll go over the bosses and the heroes and all the other cards, just because this video has gotten quite long. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.